Okay. We are officially live. Gonna give it a second to start showing that people are on. Feel free to say hello if you're watching the replay, comment #replay so we know that you are watching it. But if you are on, please say hello. We are going to be talking about all kinds of things today. The biggest thing is obviously analyzing deals. That is our topic of the week today. And this is regardless if you are wholesaling, buy and hold, or fix and flip. So we will be covering that today. There we go. Hey, Kara. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, Laura, you kind of want to get going. Hey, Barbara.
Okay, hello everybody. So this week has all been about analyzing deals, right? So I'm hoping you downloaded the PDF that we share with you on Tuesday, and then Liz, I'm sure is going to put the link here or send them.
Oh, it's in the group. You have to go in the group.
Okay, you have to go in the group. Okay.
Okay.
So to go ahead and do it. So, definitely go ahead and download your PDF because that's going to summarize and give you more of a framework of what we're going to talk about this morning. Okay. So the problem is this. This is where a lot of our students get hung up with. They do everything great. They get the leads. They get everything. And when they come to analyzing the deal, they freeze. One of the issues, I think, is because there's so many different coaches, different mentors. You watch different YouTube videos. Everybody has a different way of analyzing deals. And, I'm not saying anything is wrong, whatever works for them. My only question is, does it really work for them? Did they really use, if they talk about a certain rule, have they really used that, effectively? So what I'm going to share with you today, what we're going to share with you today is what is working for us, what has worked for me over the years, coming from a place where, women are a little different when it comes to negotiating and connecting with people. If you are a very good high-strung salesperson, or, the guys are a little more abrupt, they're able to negotiate on different terms. For women, we're looking more for connections. We're looking more to create win-win situation. I was talking to one of our students yesterday doing the call, and she's like, I feel guilty taking $10,000 from a wholesale deal. She said, I feel bad about it. I was like, oh, please, tomorrow, bring this during our coach call today with Juan. I want to see what he says about that one, because I said, don't feel guilty, right? You're going to have to compensate for your time and profit. So with that said, we're going to talk about analyzing deals for wholesaling, buy and hold, and fix and flip. We're going to share with you how we personally do it. Okay. Now you might say, oh, but I've heard this coach do this. I know there are different ways. I'm just going to share with you what has worked with me for over 30 years. So let's get into it. And Liz, you said the PDF, they have to look for the Tuesday post, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything to add before we start getting into it?
No, let's go. Okay.
So let's talk about wholesaling. Okay. So wholesaling, your goal is to make at least $10,000 or close to $10,000 or more per deal. And at the end of the day, using percentages, people ask, how much should I offer of what, the property is worth? 70%? I'm sure a lot of you have heard the 70% rule. To me, that's very deceiving. 70% of $100,000 property is much different than 70% of a $300,000 or $400,000 property, right? So with that said, the gap is wider as the price goes up. At the end of the day, especially in the market we have had now, you're going to get more no's than yeses, right? Because, are you going for one big deal once in a while? How many of you are willing to put up with a rejection in the meantime? And also, you're not going to build a business by doing a deal once in a while. You're not feeding your buyers. You're not establishing your brand. So my thing is this. Take the comps for an area. Look at what the properties sell for. Okay. And then you say, okay, if the property is going to sell, let's assume it doesn't need any work. Okay. Just for the sake, if it needs work, there's different calculations you need to do a little bit. But let's say on a perfect scenario, the property is going to sell for 200,000. And you look at the comps, you look at what's sold, things sell pretty quickly between 190, 195, 200 seems top of the market. Fine, put the contract for 180. If the seller is willing to come down more, obviously you want to go more. But at the end of the day, let's say he wants 190, 95, talk him down to 180, 185, you make your $10,000. That's as simple as that. So don't worry about doing percentages and that. Obviously, if it needs cost of rehab, you need to take it away from there. And also you need to account for the profit for the rehabber, but we have a whole specific formula for doing that. But at the end of the day, you're going to make your $10,000 or more. Obviously, you want to offer as low. So if the seller is willing to come down to 160, by all means, if you do your comps and the property say, and he says he wants 160, but you see the even at 180, you would do 10,000, go ahead and give him 160, right? But that's how I approach wholesaling. With buy and hold, I'm looking at the cash flow per door. At the end of the day, I want to make money because when the economy goes up or down, okay, the cash flow is still king. So it doesn't matter to me. Yes, the equity might not be there when the economy goes in a recession, and then it will come back up and you get, so when you buy a rental, you always have to have a 5 to 10 year plan at least. But let's say that right now you go ahead and make at least $250, $300 per door. So if it's a duplex, it's $500, $600. If it's a 4 family, it's $1,000. If it's a single family, it's $300. I like to make at least more than $250 on a single, maybe $300 to $400. So the thing is, that's the plain formula I use, as quickly as that, as simple as that. Okay, so that's one of the things I want to point out. Now, so let's say that you want to reverse engineer. Let's say you want to make $10,000 in rental income. That would passive income. That would be 40 doors. 40 doors, 40 single family, 20 duplexes, or 10 4 family. Simple as that, right? So that's pretty cool. Now with the fix and flip, as a rehabber, buying a property, you want to make at least 10% of the after repair value. That means that after the property is repaired and you take off all the expenses, the rehabs, the financing costs, the selling costs, commissions, we have a spreadsheet that iClouds all of that. I think it's also in the PDF that we share with you. You're going to come to a maximum allowable offer of. Granted, you're going to try to lower, that's the maximum you pay on that property. So at the end of the day, you're probably going to try to offer lower than that. But you know that even if you offer that, you'll be okay. Now, there are variables in those costs, right? Maybe you don't have financing costs, you use your own equity line, or you have the money. Maybe you don't pay commissions because you're an agent, or you do it for sale by owner. So there are a lot of variables that you can carve for yourself. But be conservative. At the end of the day, worst case scenario, this is what I on offer. So at least 10% of your final ARV. So those are the 3 ways to analyze the deals. And so with wholesaling, just as a recap, with wholesaling, my goal is to make at least $10,000. And granted, as you get better at negotiating and everything, you make more than that. As rentals, I like to make $250, $300 per door. So you can reverse engineer how much money you want to make and how many doors you need. And then for a fix and flip, personally, if I don't make at least 10%, I'm just going to wholesale it. Let somebody else deal with the unforeseens of the market. Okay. So great. Liz?
Yes. Okay, so we will open up for an Ask Us Anything. We allow 1 question per person. So you can start putting it in. Facebook has a little bit of a delay. So if you wait too long, we get off, we're not gonna be able to answer it. And we only answer these during the lives to be fair to our current students. So while the questions come in, Vonda, I see yours. I will ask yours after, but I want to do the raffle because I always forget. So I want to make sure we do the raffle while I wait for your guys' questions come in. So most burning question. With that being said, the raffle, how you get entered into the raffle is throughout the week from Thursday to Thursday. Okay, so we start counting as soon as this is over. For every comment that you do in the group, you get an entry into our raffle. So the more you comment, the better it is. We do not count likes, even though they are appreciated. We count the comments. It's easier for my assistants to kind of go in and comb the group. And what we do is we enter you into a raffle. We raffle different things every week. It's from coaching, free coaching to retreat tickets to all kinds of stuff. This week we are doing, we've done books and all that. So this week your raffle winning will be a $25 Amazon gift card. So that's going to be the raffle. So who's excited and wants to know all about it? So while that comes through, the raffle winner for this week is Barbara Jeannie. So congratulations, Barbara Jeannie. You won the raffle of the week. Thank you so much for participating and recommending our group to your friends and all of that. So thank you so much. So we have a lot of questions coming through, Laura. So I wanted to go ahead and jump in so I don't lose them because it only lets me go up so far. Vonda's asking, what about if it doesn't cash flow as much, but it's in a high growth area?
I'm sorry, what again?
So what about if it doesn't cash flow as much, but it's in a high growth area?
I'm always very hesitant, especially because we are going to see a big reset here in 6 months to a year, my thoughts. And things are going to shift dramatically. So areas might cool down. I don't know. It's hard to say. Just you would have to do a lot more research. You know, we do a lot of research and numbers and data and see what the trends are. But I do like to have the cash flow because that's something you can count on. That's one of the problems we had in 2007, where people were buying rentals, even if there was not a lot of equity, because I'm sorry, even if there wasn't a lot of cash flow, but they were hoping or they were counting on equity. And then when everything collapsed, they had no cash flow and no equity. So be careful, do a little bit of research before you know if that's a good idea.
Awesome. Next question is from Marianne. Do you look for properties in specific zip codes?
Well, again, that goes back to do the research. One of the fundamentals that we go with our students before we do anything is part of laying the foundation is choosing the right area. So there is definitely a lot that goes into that. And it's stuff you can do yourself online. There is a lot of good data from the National Association of Realtors and other things that you can get to really choose the areas wisely. There's so many good areas. It's hard for me to say one absolute good area because there are so many good areas, number one. Number two, I always say, try to go with an area that you have some comfortable familiarity with, right? So for example, for me to invest in an area that in the Northwest, I have no idea up there, you know, so by doing anything on the East Coast or Central United States, I'm more comfortable with. So try with that, start with something that's familiar to you before you branch out in areas that you have no idea, but that goes into researching the right area. So it's not a straightforward answer. But yes, you want to zero in once you know an area, especially if you're in a big city like Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, you want to really zero in on certain area and certain zip codes. I usually try to say, start with 2-3 zip codes and then expand the circle from there.
Great. Rachel's asking, what advice would you give to someone who fiercely craves a new life trajectory through real estate investing that doesn't quite have the means currently to partake in training?
I don't know. You can answer that.
What advice would I give to somebody? You just gotta, I mean, the risk of, just because I know like our conversation, the risk of, how do I put this to where it could apply to everybody?
But let's put it this way. Let me share my own story.
Okay.
When I started in 87 and I wanted to get into real estate investing, it took me about 8 years until 95 to really understand what to do and feel comfortable enough to quit my job, my day job, to get into real estate full time, because I didn't have any coaches or mentors. And and I'm not saying this to scare you, I'm just telling you what it is. Back then, there were not coaches or mentors. You bought some books and late night infomercials and you figured it out. And it took me, I did a lot of mistakes. I spent a lot of money. So at the end of the day, I probably spent more money than hiring a mentor if I have to look at it, but I had no choice. So that's the thing, you know, you can do it yourself. It's like when I tell people when you go to the gym, right? You can go to the gym and trying to do it on yourself. Maybe you look on Pinterest and YouTube how to do exercises. But if you really want to assure and guarantee and expedite your results, you hire a personal trainer. So it's kind of the same thing. I personally say that, and I'm not saying that you have to join with us or anybody, in particular. I personally say if I had to start with real estate right now, I would borrow the money, I would do whatever it takes and hire somebody that I really trust and follow in their footsteps. Like Tony Robbins said, if you want to succeed in something, find somebody you like and trust and follow what they've done, and you will have the same success. So that's what you need to do. And so I would borrow, because I'm not going to try to figure things out on my own. And there is so much information out there, which is not all good information. And at the end of the day, you're probably going to waste. There is an opportunity cost to doing things. The opportunity cost in accounting is what is costing you not to do something. Okay, the money you lost because you didn't do it. It's going to cost you at least $100,000 here in the next year not to do any real estate deals. The money that you will never see, that's a year of your life is gone with money that you will never see. So are you willing to do that? I mean, what is going to cost you? If somebody told me, okay, you invest $5,000 and you're going to make that back 20 times over the next year, sign me up. I borrow, I sell something, I do whatever I have to do that, right? And so that's the thing you have to look at. So you need to look at it different and see what is really going on. And I don't know about your finances, but like I said, you might want to take a hard look at doing it on your own, especially in this. Honestly, 20, 30 years ago, you could have fasted and be successful. Nowadays, you need to be clever and know what you're doing.
Yeah, I would say I really agree. I mean, the struggle to get into it without I've talked to hundreds of women in the last few years, probably thousands, and it's the struggle that it takes to break through here. So when they have somebody that can kind of help them break through and they're already successful and on their path, it just makes their experience so much better. And if you talk to any of our students that have done deals, they say that they couldn't have gone through, especially the first few deals when they needed so much help, where they would have probably walked away. They wouldn't have been able to get through it with a mentor and break through, and their success was a lot quicker because of it. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if you want to make it happen, a way will happen. Someone will lend you the money, even if you have to put it on multiple credit cards, even if you have to talk to people. And we don't always like to promote starting off in debt, but sometimes you have to take that risk. You have to take that risk to get anywhere in life. So you have to, how much do you count on yourself? Right? Like how do you count on yourself? Are you going to bet on yourself? I would bet on myself 100 times before I would do any other thing, before I would stop or doubt myself. I'd bet on myself. So definitely and I know we personally talk, so that when you make a decision, life is going to open that door up for you, but you have to be 100%, I'm going to do this. And somehow, some way, that money will come to you. All right. We have a lot of other questions. So I want to go into that. Why would someone list a house that they are upside down on and their mortgage and they're asking doesn't even cover their mortgage?
Well, I mean, that's a short sale right there and then, right? So the short sale is when the buyer negotiates with the bank to take a lower payoff. I mean, 15 years ago, that were all the rage. That's where I made, honestly, more money than I did before 15 years ago, before the housing crisis, because a ton of people were upside down. And so I negotiated with the bank. So, let's say their house was worth 200,000, but their mortgage was 250, because that's a lot of time they had first mortgage, second mortgage. When things start economically go south, people start borrowing on their house, they get judgments on credit cards, all kind of stuff. So I would negotiate with the banks, and they say they would accept 150, 160, because also on top of that, you needed work on the house. They probably let the house go. There are a lot of things. And then I would make money on the spread. So it's really, honestly, great opportunity, because most buyers don't know about that, and they don't want to deal with that. So you come in as an investor and do a short sale.
Awesome. So I just want to kind of say something, Rachel. While I was talking to you just now, a couple minutes ago, I get these quotes that get sent to my phone. And it gave me goosebumps when I saw this because it got sent exactly as I was telling you this. And the quote was, so many doors will open for you when you decide it's okay to start over. And it came in 3 minutes ago when I was talking to you. So I just wanted to say that. Maybe that was some kind of sign. Okay, Hattie's asking, I am a newbie and want to start with rentals. Any recommendations on how to get started?
Yes. Well, first of all, like we said, choose the right area wisely. Choose the area wisely, and then what type of landlord are you? Are you looking for Section 8? Are you looking for short-term Airbnb rentals? Are you looking, what type of rentals are you looking for? So you need to be very clear and specific while you choose the right area, okay? And then the next thing you do is that you have to be honest about your own financial situation. You have some type of seed capital to at least put down for the down payments and closing costs. If you have some money, 60,000, 100,000 or more, even if you have it in IRAs or 401ks or any other type of investments, or even some of my students have HELOC, line of credits on their own house. So whatever money you have, you can then use private money, and then you can do the BRRRR method. Always try to buy properties that are undervalued, especially because they need work. BRRRR method is where it's at. You don't buy something that's turnkey as a rental. You buy it, you fix it up, and then you rent it out, you refinance, and then you repeat. That's what BRRRR method stands for. And so with that said, you want to buy that because then you can pull your money back out, the money that you put up with, plus cash on top of it, because now the equity went up because you fixed it up. And then you can keep rolling the money. Soon enough, after a couple of years, you're going to start doing, what I call real estate should be like a monopoly game where you sell things to buy more things, but you use the money within that monopoly game. You don't use that money outside of it. So that's the thing that's going to happen with real estate. But that's some of the advice and steps that I would recommend.
All right, this is kind of long, so I'm going to try and summarize it. Basically, Jennifer's saying to go along with what Rachel's voicing about funds, when the problem she's running to on market and off market properties is requiring a high EMD, earnest money deposit. For those of you that don't know, I know you said to never give more than $10, but that's not possible with all the on market properties here in Texas. So I try to team up with a fix and flippers, I think what she meant, who will get it under contract and just pay me a bird dog fee, but then they get busy and fizzle. So should I borrow money for these high EMDs?
Well, first of all, try always to work on your own, right? Don't rely on any other people, right? Well, even when I talk with students doing joint venture partnership, JVs, co-wholesaling, all the stuff, you're relying on somebody else and you're hungry. You want to get things going now. I would hate to have to wait on somebody else, number one. So do your own deals, source your own deals, and you keep all the profit. And don't do bird dogging. They pay you peanuts compared to what they're making. Why would you bird dog? Is the same at that point. You find the properties, get them under contract, and sell them, and you keep all the profit. Okay. Now, as far as the EMD is concerned, I still put $10 to this day. I don't put it, and I tell you why, and I tell you how you can do that and get away with it. I put only $10 because at the end of the day, I don't want all my money floating out there. I have my phone number. I had the same phone number right now for 27 years, since 95, since I got into real estate full time. And the reason I kept my same phone number, even if I travel around the country, where I lived in a totally different area than what I was 27 years ago, is because I still get calls of people or title company that have my money floating around for the last 20 years. When you put down a large earnest deposit, even if you have the best contingencies on the contract, there are situations where the seller gets mad if you want to back out and he will not sign the release, and the title company cannot give you your money back. Simple as that. So unless the title company goes out of business, and that's the other thing I do every year or so, I go on the treasurer of the states where I've done deals with to find out if they have money for me, because somehow, somewhere they pop out, because when escrow accounts get closed, the money go to the state and they hold it there for a certain amount of time. The state is different, and if you don't claim it, then they go in this, the state keeps it. So with that said, don't give a lot of money. Okay, so how do you get around that? you get around that by, first of all, I never talk about the MD. I just talk about the contract. I kind of like overlook that. Now, if they come back and say, oh, no, we cannot do $10 down, there are a couple of options. One of them, you says, I can give you additional earnest money in 21 days. If you're wholesaling, the additional money will come from your end buyer. Or you can, if you're doing private money, it will come from your private lender. So you push it back. And the other one, we have the first right of refusal clause, which is really a cool clause that we use to basically say, I tell you what, if you get another contract, let me know 72 hours, and then I'll decide if I do want to go through with the property, I'll put the actual earnest money. So we have the exact wording about that, but that's a really cool clause because basically, you know, you have to explain it to them because a lot of them don't know. They put their foot in two shoes, right? They got your contract now, so they're secure, but then they're also open to get our contracts if they don't like it. But in any case, I don't put my EMD out there unless I'm 100% sure I'm going to close on the deal. And that's usually about 3 weeks out. Because, you know, even if you do a buy and hold, fix and flip, you have building inspections, you have financing to put in place. So I don't want my money to be tied up. The only time I put money is when I'm 100% sure that I'm going to buy it.
Okay, so that's the last question. So do we kind of want to jump into a couple of things?
Sure, yeah, we have some housekeeping announcement here, or some things. So first of all, we have the retreat coming up, and the retreat is coming up on the 1st and 2nd of October in Fort Lauderdale. These are things that we do 3 times a year. Lisa, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we are, just to tell you, we're at like 80% sold out. So we aren't a huge company. We don't want thousands of people at our retreats because we want to personally be able to work with every single one of you and answer questions and all of that. So when we reach 50, we are closing our doors. There are no exceptions. We have an amazing retreat coming up. This is the first of this kind where we are doing it with a bus tour. Now those tickets are almost sold out. I think we have 9 or 10 left. Again, once those are sold out, there are no options. There's no exceptions. We only can fit so many people on the bus, and we have to count the 2 coaches that are going as well. So this retreat is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on October 1st and 2nd with networking hour the Friday before so that you can get to meet us that night before. This is a very hands-on retreat. I mean, you're pulling out laptops. You're going to be running deals right then and there. We are going to show you how to use systems. We are talking about wholesaling, buy and hold, fix and flip, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, Airbnbs, driving for dollars, probate list, everything you can think of, we talk about during this retreat. A lot of the people in the room are our students, but we did just open it up to the general public, and that's why we're selling out pretty quick, even though we are a little far out. Does not matter where you are located. We have students flying from Washington, California, New York, New Jersey, Missouri, Chicago. You know, we have students from all over. So if you're worried about like, oh, this must be a local thing, no, you do get a hotel link once you book your ticket, where you can book through the hotel and stay with us. This is a phenomenal retreat. And I can tell you, people from the last retreat were commenting how they regretted not coming or, you know, waiting too long and we sold out, things like that. So we are really trying to push it now because we are closing up soon. And after that, the next retreat will not be till next year. We only do these a couple times a year. So if you're wanting to come, we highly recommend it. Like I said, if you click that link, you will find out ticket prices for general admission all the way up to the bus tour. You will also find a schedule about 2/3 of the way down of what we are covering, regardless if you do bus tour or not. You will be in a room with Laura, so you're still in good hands. We will have somebody in there. His name is Juan. He's one of our coaches who closes over $100,000 in deals a month on wholesaling. He's going to
profit. That's
profit. Yeah. And he's going to teach you how to negotiate with sellers, get them discounted, how to get around EMDs, all of that. He's going to show you the systems he uses. Last time he made a live call for people that stayed in the room during one of his sessions. He did a live call with sellers. He plans to do that again. If you're doing the bus tour, we are going to be driving for dollars. We are also going to stop by a house that he currently has because he also rehabs. We're going to go in there. He's going to show you what to look for, what pricing would cost, and also let our students actually demo part of the house. So it's going to be a really fun hands-on experience, regardless of what you do. Lunch is included if you buy either of the VIP or the bus tour tickets. And it's just, you get VIP seating near the coaches and all of that. So it's just going to be a really great retreat. If you want to come, now's the time to book, because I'm telling you, I'm not opening up more spots. We've done higher attendees, and it was just
Yeah, we did 100, and
yeah, it was so stressful on Laura and myself, because we would actually take the time to get to know every single one of you and like see where you are and where you need help and all that. And so we keep it to 50, and that's it. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised we haven't sold out already, but I have a feeling we're going to sell out very soon. We have an Orlando event coming up on Saturday in 2 days, and we sold out last week. And we promoted it last week. So we have Miami coming up, and then we have the retreat. But the retreat is a really big deal. You are in the room with us for 12 hours a day on Saturday, and 9 hours a day on Sunday. We're going to be doing a lot of mindset work Saturday evening, which honestly, when we get feedback, is everyone's favorite part.
So the real estate, the mindset. I also want to add something to this. It is in Florida, yes, but this, what we talk about, is not just specific to Florida. We have people flying in from all over the country. We talk something that can work anywhere from Hawaii. Even we had people from Canada and Germany coming into this. So these are strategies that work in United States. I don't know the laws in Germany, or I don't know the laws in Canada, but they were investing in USA. So these are the strategies work anywhere from Hawaii to New York to Florida and California. So I just want to make sure you guys know this is not just something, oh, it's in Florida, works only in Florida. No, it works nationwide. We also work with hundreds of students over the years nationwide. So I'm very familiar with all the strategy. For the ones of you that don't know, I actually got started in Hawaii. That's why I mentioned Hawaii, because actually that's where I started in real estate. So it's and it's not that far from the beach, guys. It's only a few minutes. So, you know, that's a bonus vacation write-off for tax write-off too. There is a shuttle from the airport to the hotel. It's a really nice hotel, Le Meridian. I don't even know, do we have any more rooms left on the group rates?
We might have a few. I might be able to get them to open up a couple more, but it's during the season.
Because we have a very good group rates. Usually they have more $300 a night. We got actually $189 for the room. But you know, if you can't do that, then there is also a ton of Airbnbs and stuff. But as soon as you buy the ticket, you're gonna get a link so you can book your rooms at the hotel as well. And if they're sold out, just let us know and see if we can make exceptions. With that said, that's something coming up. So like I said, go ahead. Now it's also under the early bird price right now. Okay. Once we hit about 90% of our quota, we're going to bump it up as we get closer to the retreat. So keep in mind that prices now is early bird, but I cannot guarantee how many more days it's going to stay. Once we reach 90%, we always step it up. That's the link there. I'm sure Lisa posted it. The other thing is, if you cannot make it to the retreat, or if you really want to get going and you want to talk to us and you really want to get this going, we also do take calls. These calls that are for you to see how we can work together. It's not about free coaching. I just want to make sure it's not like you can ask questions about what you have going on a deal and things like that. That would not be fair for the students that are paying to be in our group. But they are more about seeing what your goals are, see what synergy do we have that will make it work, explain to you how our community work and our program works, and see if you want to be part of it. Now, we have, I think we have very limited spots, I think, right?
Yeah,
we had a surge this week of people scheduling calls. So
we have one spot for tomorrow, one spot Monday, and 4 on Tuesday.
Yeah. So we have very limited spots. Is the reason, I don't know what, I guess with kids going back to school and everything else, people are getting back into the swing of things. We had a surge and we're booked every day. So with that said, that's about how to work together and with us. Just to give you a brief scenario of how how we work with a community and people, is that first of all, we base on 4 different pillars of foundations. Okay, we go about talking, laying the foundations, choosing the right area, business structure, time organization, time management and organization. Then we go into leads management, lead negotiation, and so forth. Then we go into marketing. What works with marketing right now? It's not texting, it's not direct marketing, it's not calling, believe it or not. So we go into that. The next 4 years between now and 2026, they say real estate is going to change altogether how real estate is going to be done. So from an investor, you got to know that. And then last but not least, we go into scalability, how you scale the business to what you want. So once a student comes to me, I don't care if they want to make $10,000 a month. I have a student right now. She actually wants to make $250,000 a month. So we're building the business for that. And it doesn't matter to me where you want to be. Just to give you a bit of my history, right now we wholesale. Elizabeth is actually on the forefront. She wholesales personally 6 to 10 deals a month. When I was doing at the height of my business, I was wholesaling 12 to 18 deals a month. Right now, I wholesale with Liz and do fix and flip. Fix and flips, you can do 20 to 30 fix and flips at a time. And also rentals, the sky's the limit. I talked to somebody the other day right now. She's working, and she's in her 30s, and she's working on having $1 million in rental income every month, net, okay? So it doesn't matter to where you are. I can help you there because it's just a matter of scaling the system. So wherever you want to be, honestly, I've been in this business for 35 years. I don't think I will ever fully retire because I love real estate, but Elizabeth is definitely carrying my torch. As far as in the business, she's going to be the newcomer here, but she networks with a lot of our amazing ladies her age who are building up. She's a wholesaler, but she's moving into the buy and hold arena here very quickly. And especially because she has friends that, are killing it with buy and hold. And she said, I want a piece of that too. Wholesaling is great, but I like to have the passive income and travel, which by the way, me and Liz are traveling next month. We found out this morning. We're going to Italy, London, and Helsinki. And we're going there for a wedding, but to Italy, that's where I'm from. But
that's what real estate does for you. I was talking to someone.
And we'll still be working, so you guys will never know we're gone. Besides the background is going to change.
But that's how real estate changes your life, guys. It's, how long do you want to sit here in the position you're at? And you really have to think about that. And we are going to be talking, I think it's after next week. Next week, we're focusing on virtual wholesaling. I know a lot of you are going to be super excited about that. But the week after that, I'm going to do a live on how to rewire your brain. But one of the things I want you to really think about, for those of you that are kind of on the fence, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you scared of? Because you're going to miss so much by just waiting to do something. And I say this out of a lot of love, but get out there and start doing deals. Like, you're missing out on so much life that you could be living with your kids, with your family, with yourself, it's just go out there so that you can pick up and take a trip on Italy and buy the ticket that day and fly first class, do stuff like that. But the only way you're ever going to get to that position is by taking action. And it doesn't matter if you join us, you join someone else, do something, get on a step-by-step plan and go out there and make your dreams happen. Because the longer you wait, the longer you stay in this position, and nothing is going to ever come from staying inside your own little comfort circle of a box. And honestly, the ones I talk to you aren't even comfortable in your comfort zone. So I just wanted to kind of say that, give you some mindset tip before we jump off, to really think of what the cost is of you staying where you are right now. And if you're happy with it, then fine. But I can tell you by the women that I talk to, they're not happy where they're at. That's the whole reason they're interested in real estate. So you're welcome to.
And the fact that you see real estate, the fact that you have an interest in real estate is because at the subconscious level, something is telling you that that's your ticket out to whatever you want to do, or that's what is going to get you to accomplish whatever you want to do, And I was reading the book, by the way, Lisa, I'm listening as an audiobook, the book on Fuck Yourself, right?
Oh, gosh, guys, it's so good. Hold on.
I know, it's good. And it says there are 3 areas in your life, right? You have relationships, finances, and your health.
Yeah.
And look at sit down and look at each one of these areas of your life and be honest with yourself. And if you're not happy in one of these areas or all three of them, do something about it. You know, it says if the finance is what is a struggle, then fine, make more money, do something to make more money. If your relationship is not what you want, then get out of that relationship. If your health is an issue, definitely work on your health, you know, do what you have to do, eat better, move, exercise, you know, go see a doctor. But he says there are those three areas, but you have control. Tomorrow, you are a product today of what happened yesterday, what happened a month ago, what happened in all your past life. But it doesn't affect what will happen for you tomorrow or next week. In the next 30 days, you can have a total transformation of where you are as a person, into your business, your finances. You can go to Italy at the end of next month if you want to go to. You will have the money to do that. So things are changing. You can change exponentially. You don't have to, nothing has to really happen beside what is happening right here. Once you decide, like Liz said, once you decide you're going to do it, it seems like things conspire you to help you do this. No doubt. Okay. But you have to first decide, I'm done. I'm going to do this, and that's happening. And then after you make the decision, things will almost happen by serendipity.
Yeah. But don't wait for Mile Live to get the kick in the ass that you need. That's 2 weeks from now. Go out there now and start doing things. Last but not least, I'm reading this book, and yesterday they said Americans are lazy because we expect everything to just happen for us, and we don't go out there and do anything. So unless you're taking action, you're not going to get success. And I posted a stat that says you can't get upset about the results you didn't get from the things you didn't do, you know, from the goals you didn't try and even reach. So think of it that way. You have to get out there. I mean, there's a TikTok going around that says, you know, with something about being poor. And like, when you're poor, you got to do the things you don't want to do, because you have to get yourself out of there. Rich people can afford to pay for someone else to do the things they don't want to do, like fixing up their house and stuff. But when you're poor, you have to get creative. You have to paint your own freaking house. You have to do your own things. And a lot of us just expect that stuff to come to us, which is great that you have that expectation out there. But without action, how is the universe going to ever conspire to bring you anything? The universe isn't going to reward a lazy person. The universe is going to reward somebody that says, this is what I want, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, and you're just going to make this easier for me to reach these goals. But you still have to go out there and take those steps and not be lazy about it. You can't afford inbound leads and ads and stuff, then you got to text, you got to call, you got to do that stuff. You can't afford a VA, you have to do that stuff in the beginning. I started with nothing 6 years ago, 7 years ago now, 7 years in October, when I got into real estate. I started with nothing. Who did I have? Who had to text? Me. Who had to call? Me. Who had to build my systems? Me. I had to do all those things. And Laura made me pay her for coaching. I had to pay her because she wanted me accountable. There was a reason behind it. She wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to waste her time, even if I'm her daughter, because I tend to like get really hyped up about things and not always follow through until I'm 100% committed. And so she made me pay. I had to pay for my own college. I had to pay for my own things. And at the time, it's annoying, but when I look back, it was the best thing she could have done. And so I still had to pay for coaching. Right now, Laura and I pay for coaching as well on the mentorship side. Not on the real estate, obviously, on the mentorship for marketing and learning how to give you guys the best experience in our programs and all of that. We pay $2,500 a month just to be here. And you're not paying for just information. You're paying to be with people that are where you are and want to go where you're going, or are already there and are reaching down and helping you get back up. You're paying to be in a room of people. So whether it's to come to the retreat or to join a coaching program, do something. So I don't want to keep on harping because we've been going on like 15 minutes of this, but I get so fired up because I talk to all of you. I've talked to all of you in our chats. I've talked to all of you in this stuff, and I see it. And I just want to like literally just grab you guys and pull you up, but you have to do the work. I can only give you so much information. I can only do so much. At the end of the day, you have to get out of your own freaking way and go out there. So if you haven't read this book, I do recommend it. I just finished it. And as you can see,
I'm listening the audiobook, which by the way is so funny. The writer is from Scotland and he has a Scottish accent. And then when he says
he's
things,
not bad to listen to. Yeah.
I crack up.
But yeah, so it's really though, you have to just start thinking about, stop waiting for things to be handed to you and go out there and do the damn thing. I mean, that's really what it is. So I think we had really good questions today. Definitely analyzing deals. Don't get stuck on that so much. EMD, talking about the retreat, talking about working with us. You work with us, you get this kick in the ass every day on a call pretty much. Because we will call our students out and they want us to. They want us to. If they start getting sidetracked or anything else, they say, I'm paying you to kick me in the ass. So we will do that and we will keep you accountable, but we will also make sure you succeed as long as you work with us. We literally, like I say, is we roll up our sleeves, we get into the trenches with you and we build you up. And then when you start closing deals, we are the first to celebrate with you. We are the first ones to pop the champagne and just have some fun. And we're really excited. So if you want to talk about joining our community, this is, like I said, not a coaching call. This is to see about working together and how we can help you reach your goals. I've scheduled that. I put that into the comments and I pinned it. The retreat is right above it if you want to look into details on the retreat. Laura, would you like to close out?
Yeah, no, that's great. So like I said, take action and just be honest with yourself. Which areas of your life do you need to improve? And then decide that you're going to do something about it because, life happens, and you have to make the decision on how you're going to control that.
Yeah.
So great. Well, thanks everybody. Sorry we went into mindset here, but both me and Liz,
We can't
live
help ourselves.
mindset. I was on a walk. I was on a walk this morning and I'm listening to that book. Next thing I know, I'm walking much more than I thought I was going to walk just because I have to listen to the end of the chapter, but that's a good thing. But the thing is, yes, go out there, do it, work on your mindset too, because an 80% is going to be up here. Once you decide you're going to do it, everything will fall into place. Trust me. Okay.
So I hope this was, if you can leave comments on what you felt about today's live, even the ending, the beginning, all of it. We would love to hear back from you guys into the comment section. What you
And
thought
the ones that we're going to see, I don't know if we anybody here that we're going to see in Orlando on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to it.
I
We have
know.
not done a live of these.
Our first 2-hour event that we've done since before COVID.
I
So
know.
this is, besides retreats, this is the first event we've opened up to the public and we are so excited.
We're excited. Plus, we're going to Disney on Sunday. So that's.
Yeah, I know. You can't be upset. We're going to Disney on Sunday.
Yeah,
and I'm
we
going
always-
to downtown Disney, or now it's called Disney Springs, Friday night. So I'm super excited.
So,
all right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Talk to you later. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.